If you live in a hot and humid climate like Singapore's, you'll know the pains that come with it. On days when it's particularly hot, you'll be hard-pressed to leave your office or your home to walk that 10 to 15 minutes to go out and buy lunch. For people who really don't like the heat though, there's this. It's the Embr Wave. The Embr Wave is a thermoelectric cooler, and it uses the Peltier effect, which basically means that when an electrical current is flowing between a circuit with two different conductors, heat will be emitted from one junction while the other junction absorbs heat. So, let's talk a bit about how it works. I'm not scientifically inclined, unfortunately, so I can't really explain it much better than that. But what it essentially means is that whenever one side of the Embr Wave cools down, the other side heats up. Let's take a look at the bracelet. On the side that touches your skin, there's a ceramic plate which either cools down or heats up depending on which mode you set the bracelet to. That's one junction. The other junction is the top face of the Embr Wave, and when you set the bracelet to cooling mode, this face heats up. If you're using the bracelet in heating mode, this face cools down. The bracelet uses a Milanese mesh strap with a really strong magnet closure to ensure that the plate won't slide around your wrist when worn. The optimal location to wear the bracelet is with the plate touching the inside skin of your wrist, here. I wear it on my right wrist because I usually wear a watch on my left, but you can wear it on whichever wrist you prefer. There's an app that you have to download to get the most out of the watch, but if you want to just get started, there's a button on the top face which allows you to turn on the bracelet and select cooling or heating mode. Multiple presses on either side of the bar will increase or decrease the intensity of the mode accordingly. If you're not using the app though, the mode only lasts for 3 minutes. Touching the faceplate reveals how quickly it heats up. With a more intense cooling mode, the faceplate will heat up faster too. Once the unit gets too hot, you'll be left with a flashing orange bar that indicates you need to wait for it to cool off before you can continue using it. Ember recommends wearing the bracelet without any shirt sleeves or jacket sleeves covering it, so it can cool down more effectively. I found that it usually takes around 3 to 4 cooling sessions to get it too hot to work. But how effective is it? Well, it's not going to help you if you're going to have a heat stroke, that's for sure. It's not a medical device, nor will it help you to adjust your body temperature. What it does is more to trick you that you're cooling off. Remember how you might have held a cold bottle of water to your neck after a long run and that feeling of relief that it brought you? Well, that's exactly what the Embr Wave does with its cooling mode. The bracelet delivered short bursts of cooling sensation in waves, and I found that it distracted me enough that I didn't spend all my energy concentrating on how hot it was or how unpleasant it was to be walking under the sun. I still started perspiring, of course, but the cooling sensation helped delay it a little. What impressed me even more was the heating mode. After a shoot outdoors, I was perspiring and went into a mall to grab a drink. While sitting in the mall, my perspiration dried up and I started feeling cold, even with my long sleeve t-shirt. I turned the bracelet to heating mode and within 30 seconds, I started feeling better. Again, it's not that it warmed me up physically, but the sensation was similar to how holding a hot drink will actually make you feel warmer. There I was, drinking an iced drink and really feeling quite cold. But at the touch of a button, the gentle warming kind of just took my mind off of it. With the app, there are modes that allow you to choose from the 3-minute setting, a 10-minute setting, 30-minute setting, and even an 8-hour setting that's designed to help you sleep better through the night, either with gentle cooling or heating. In the 8-hour mode, the waves are spaced out even longer and are less intense, while the LED light bar is turned off to not affect your sleep. If you're not a fan of any of those, you can even create new custom modes with timing and wave sensation set to your preference. The bracelet can even sync with the app to let you monitor how long you use the cooling or heating modes. There are a few downsides though. The first is that the bracelet is actually a bit bulky. Wearing it on the underside of your wrist means that you either end up bumping the bracelet into your table or end up resting your wrist on the bracelet itself. The other is that it uses micro USB to charge, and the charging port is actually in a pretty awkward location. And finally, it's pricey. This costs 498 Singapore dollars. And it's a lot. For the general office worker, you might want to just adjust the air conditioner in your office instead of splashing $1,000 on this. And of course, you can always just buy a handheld fan to cool you off when you're walking out in the sun. But if you want a cool gadget and you can really see yourself consistently using the Embr Wave day in, day out, then it might be worth the spend. After all, we spend a lot of time and money on making ourselves happy and comfortable. So for some people, this might actually be the solution to their temperature problems. But those are my thoughts on the Embr Wave. If you guys have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Like this video and subscribe to us if you haven't. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and on Instagram for more content. Until the next one, see you guys.